and welcome back to Embrace the Journey. I'm your host, Hayley Norman, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about step 3 in the 7 steps to successful mentoring. If you remember from our last 2 weeks, we talked about explore and pack. Today, we're going to talk about that initial meeting or the embark phase. Now, when you think about that initial meeting, you may get a little nervous if you're the mentee. You may even get a little nervous if you're the mentor. That initial meeting sets the stage for all other meetings. The first thing you're going to want to do in Embark is to gather up all that information from PAC and review it. Reviewing resumes and evaluations and anything else you might have found out about either your mentor and mentee. Once you've done that, you're going to want to think about your setting for your initial meeting. Think about a comfortable setting. Maybe make sure to block all your phone calls and let someone know that for the next 30 minutes to an hour, you're going to be tied up. Maybe take that meeting outside of the office, meet in a coffee shop, wherever you feel that you'll be most comfortable as both a mentor and a mentee. That's what you're going to want to do. Okay, so now you review the information, you've come up with a great place to meet. The next thing you need to do is establish trust. So critically important. I like to share a personal story. Usually I will talk about something that I've done that was a challenge or a funny story just to kind of break the ice. If as a mentor you do that, your mentee will see that you're real, and that will start to break the wall down to open communication. You've established trust. Now you're going to move on to looking at some roles and responsibilities and expectations. You'll want to talk about things like how often will you meet? Where will you meet? What will be the duration of your meetings? How will you maintain confidentiality? How will you keep your commitments? How will you take notes? How will you recognize progress? All of these things are things that you'll start to do to look at both your roles and responsibilities. And finally, plan. You've gone through everything else in the initial meeting. The final step is to look at that initial plan. What are the next steps? What are those commitments of things that you will do before your next meeting? And that's it. That is the embark phase or your initial meeting. Next week, we'll talk about observe, where the mentee starts to share more information and the mentor takes a backseat and listens. I can't wait to meet right here next week to talk about the next step in successful mentoring. Until then, have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.